what is it? It is the Stubborn German Podcast. Welcome. This is coming to you from the beautiful and festive Stubborn German Brewing Company here in equally beautiful and festive town of Waterloo, Illinois. I'm Kevin Ostie, joined by the proprietor of the Stubborn German Brewing Company, Mr. Chris Ron.
Hi, Kevin. I have 3 drinks in front of me, so it's going to be a good one.
We're off to the races. And our esteemed producer, Mr. Jared Chasson, who has 2 drinks
Good
in front
evening.
of him.
I only have 2.
Oh, do you want another one?
Wah, wah.
I have 2, but one's water.
Ooh.
Well,
So
I win.
You do win. Congratulations. Tell them what they won.
Oh, God.
Well, I know what you're not going to win is the German Word of the Day competition because you
right.
never even play.
Good one, Kevin.
Yeah.
No, I will not win or lose, so that's good.
Will you draw?
No. The German word of the day is Riesenstock.
Riesenstock.
Actually, I put a little
You have
more.
to put the sh.
Yeah,
the
I kind of did that,
in the
but
stock.
it's not
Riesenstock.
spelled that way.
All right.
It's more stock.
Riesenstock.
I just
Okay.
assume they would say stock.
They probably would.
Yeah.
Well, I went first last time, Kevin.
Yeah,
so
okay.
pressure's on you.
Riesenstock.
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 So, of course, we all know what that means.
Yes, we do.
Riesenstock. Is Riesenstock?
Just like that. You can roll your R. if you like.
All right. I'll add a little romance language into that.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, Riesenstock.
German's not a romantic language?
No, it's not. Especially, it's just really loud.
A little aggressive.
I think it's of course, it's rice soup. I mean,
Oh,
come on.
right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Rice soup, of course. Okay.
Easy one.
Yeah.
Riesenstock.
Tried to take it easy on you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Jared.
I think it is peanut butter cup.
Oh,
Riesenstock peanut
Like
butter
Reese's.
cup. Reese's peanut butter cup. So, yeah.
Riesenstock.
Reese. The peanut
Like
butter.
Reese's
peanut butter.
Because, you know,
Riesenstock.
old man Reese over there in Germany.
No.
Yeah, you 2 of them. It's Riesen. And the Riesen brothers.
The Reese brothers
peanut butter
over there in
cups.
Hamburg.
It's almost Halloween, or it's well past Halloween, depending on when you're hearing this episode.
Right.
They would drink their stuck of coffee every morning.
Or eat their
Cup.
peanut butter stock.
Yeah, exactly. What were we talking about before? Jared had not had Spaten beer before.
Yeah,
Is that right? Never ever?
I've never had it.
How did you encounter it?
Well, we're going to talk about that. I guess we might as well talk about it now.
That is the whole topic.
I thought we were
Jared-
still doing word of the day.
Jared
Sorry.
tasted Spaten.
Is it Spaten or Spaten? Do you have to do the Chris?
Gotta go with
the Spaten.
Yeah, here in Spaten with a pumped fist.
Well, honestly, I told Kevin not only had I not had it, I don't think I'd heard of it.
Really?
And, yeah, I don't know. I Googled it and nothing came up about like local stuff. It was all just talking about the old German brewery and
Yeah.
whatever. So I was like, okay. But I apparently
it's probably like one of the top 3 biggest German breweries.
Yeah.
You have Spaten,
Hofbräu.
Hofbräu, Und Beck's,
Beck's.
of course.
Yes.
Radeberger,
Stiegel.
Paulaner,
I know. I should
Henninger.
know.
Henninger, Löwenbräu.
Spaten.
Boy.
Yeah.
But so those are all German
So all
beers.
of our listeners are nodding along like, yeah.
Mint chocolate
You
stout.
should totally know all this
German beer.
Mint chocolate stout,
Stouten.
which is really
Mint and
good, by the way.
chocolate stout.
If you haven't had the mint chocolate stout, head on up to Stubborn German because it is top notch.
We know.
And I
Why,
don't even like
thank you.
stouts.
We now pause this program and challenge
Yeah.
you to determine, is this an episode 1 or 2?
I think
Back
that-
to your regularly scheduled program. So Spaten,
Yeah.
I was telling Jared that my dad didn't drink a lot of non-mainstream liquor store beer in a box of 24, you know.
he did not.
He did not. And
What did he drink?
well, he drank old style, and he drank Bud products, you know. He didn't drink things that didn't come in a cardboard box
right.
in a
Gotcha.
can
Okay.
from a
I
liquor
understand.
store. But I remember going to a couple of cool bars in Chicago that were down the street from my grandmother's house. One was Rezzy's Bierstube.
Bierstube?
Yep.
What's that mean?
It's a German word of the day. You'll find out. I think
you
it just
like
means
to
like
know?
beer hangout, you know.
A Bierstube?
Yeah. And then there was Laschitz Inn.
Laschitz.
And Laschitz actually has the German iron eagle on the
Oh, sweet.
logo, yeah. And they had Spaten on tap, and we drank many there.
Yeah,
It's good stuff. Yeah, enjoy it.
absolutely.
Many years
I like
ago.
their Doppelbock,
Yeah,
the Optimator.
the optimizer.
Optimator.
Well, I think we're going to post this episode this week, the week of Halloween. So I'll probably try to post it on the 1st. And on the 2nd of November,
Fine.
my band Far Route is playing at Tiny's in Columbia, Illinois.
Yes.
Fantastic.
For the Spattenfest.
I saw this.
And, yeah, they're going to have a beer fest with some German food and pretzels and beer steins and
awesome.
all that.
That is
Yeah.
outstanding. I saw
Yeah.
that you were playing at Tiny's. I missed
Yeah.
the Spattenfest side of it.
I saw all that, and I was so excited. I'm like, yes, finally someone else is throwing a German festival,
Right?
and I can just
You
go
can just
and have
go.
fun. And then I
Heck.
looked at my calendar. Womp womp.
What are you doing?
Going to Branson.
Oh, really?
Branson.
That's very German of you.
Yeah.
I know. So I'll be
Well-
hoisting a few
Okay.
Spattens in your
Right.
honor.
All
There
right.
you go.
on
You
Saturday.
probably get spotted in Branson.
But I'm pretty annoyed that I can't make it.
That would be
honestly.
fun. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what to expect. I
You
don't.
gonna be outside?
That's election
Yes,
day, right?
It is not.
No.
Election
It's
day.
Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah,
yes.
sorry.
I hope it's not.
I was going to say, well, interesting party to have on election day. German beer fest.
Maybe you know something I don't.
It is going to be outside, pending the weather. But right now, it looks like the rain's going to hold off till that evening, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Good.
I don't think of when I think of German beer festivals. I don't think of Tiny's in Columbia.
You should.
You
Tiny's
should
is
to start, yeah.
Tiny's is a legit. They have.
I mean, I like
good German
Tiny's.
food.
Yeah.
Great German beers,
Yes.
including one from here's truly.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a good time. I didn't realize this German, background that they have, but they do, and they're bringing in this Spattenfest.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
For sure.
there's going
I
to
hope
be
it goes good.
drink specials. I think get a stein of
Yeah.
Spaten beer for $13 and keep the stein.
Keep the stein?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
my
good deal.
gosh, it's
crazy.
a deal. Tiny's is actually short for Steinies.
Steinies. Yes, I've heard that. My brother is
Steiny.
a regular at Tiny's, and he goes way back with
he
them.
hooked you up.
I'm not sure, kind of,
Yeah.
but a little.
little.
But yeah, I think he helped with talking to the owner and everything. But yeah, it sort of just popped up out of nowhere. Don
Don
the
is a
owner
great guy,
there.
yeah.
He
He's-
just said, "Hey, we got an event this
He's-
weekend. Do you want to
he's
play?"
a-
It's like, okay.
He's a he's a big shot in the Columbia Sister Cities.
Oh yeah.
He's actually working right now with the. Gosh, I should have done more research before I started talking about this, but
Yeah. Episode 1 or 2.
Gadern is the sister city of Columbia, and there's a brewery. In,
Good darn.
in Gadern,
the
Kevin.
good darn city.
And so I've been emailing back and forth with the brewmaster there.
Cool.
And we're looking to make their recipe of their Pilsner that they make. We'll probably make it beforehand, and then Don wants to have it at Tiny's. And then we'll also have it when they come. They're bringing a group of Germans over here, I think next summer, I want to say. And so we're going to try and schedule like a collaboration brew of the same beer here, like the
Nice.
second batch of it. Or
Nice.
whatever. So yeah, it should be really fun. But yeah, Don's all over that stuff. This was his
Yeah.
idea, and he's like, "I can connect you to Sebastian over there." So, yes, let's do that.
Cool.
I can't wait. So I'm
That's
super
awesome.
excited. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty pumped up for it.
If only you weren't going to Branson.
I know.
I know.
Who's the group of Germans coming over?
I guess it's the with the sister city like exchange type situation. I think. I mean, Waterloo does the same thing with their sister city. They send a group over there, and then vice versa. Like for about 2 weeks, I want to say.
Wow.
They'll come and hang out in the summer.
Do you have to be like an ambassador, like a Waterloo
I
ambassador?
have no idea
Or
what
is
you
it
have to
just
do.
one of those things through the bank or something?
Yeah, you just go to the bank and
It's a
say,
bus trip,
I'd
but it's a real long one.
I'd like to go to Germany.
There you go.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that for sure.
Cool.
The
Good
only
for
other
you.
thing we have kind of coming up is in 2 weeks after that, on the 16th, we're playing at Willie's here in town, Willie's West End. I think it's sort of a fundraiser thing for something they've got going on for a
Cool.
bartender. But
Nice.
yeah, so keeping busy, practicing, playing out, and I can't remember what we talked about or didn't talk about, but we played Stubborn Fest, which was super
oh yeah,
cool.
we haven't talked about that
Oh,
yet.
yeah?
I don't know,
I don't think so.
And so we're very
was fun.
appreciative of that. Yeah, that
That
was
is
super
cool.
fun.
Hey, you guys did a
Had a
great
great
job,
time.
and
Thank you.
I think people liked it.
Yeah, seemed like it. And yeah, it was
I
awesome.
had a great time.
Right? You have enough Stubborn Fest, you're going to have a good time.
Well, this year I had walkie-talkies. So instead of like me just running around like crazy, I just got on there and I said,
Next
hey,
level.
hey, son, can you go take
Dump
the
the
trash
garbage
out?
I got to say,
And he's still having nightmares about that.
no, your kids were doing a lot of work. They were.
They did work hard.
And
Evan
seemed
worked really
to have
hard,
good attitudes about it, so good for them.
Someday this place will be theirs.
Someday.
This could all be yours.
They'll have the garbage thing way
All
down.
this. Yeah, you'll know how to do the garbage
All
for sure.
this garbage could be yours.
I can hear it, man. I don't know who I just talked to. I just talked to somebody who had that story. Oh, I used to empty the trash cans and then I, unlock the door and then I wipe the floors. I just went all the way up to like owning the company. So your kids will have that same story someday. I started here dumping trash cans at Stubborn Fist.
I hope they set their sights a little higher.
Oh, come on.
Well, there'll be 200 locations of this by then.
Franchising, I told you.
Yeah, franchise.
So speaking of what we got going on, what's going on in Branson? Just getting away?
Yeah, I think we're going with my brothers and their kids, and so just
Nice.
trying to get away.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
think they realized we had a long weekend and might as well take advantage of it, go do something fun. Because if you don't go like make plans to go do that
Yeah.
stuff, like
doesn't happen.
The weekend just slides by, and you clean the house and
Is it
you
Sunday
know.
night and you get pissed?
Yeah,
that's what
kinda.
happens to me.
Yeah,
It's like, man.
there went another one.
Yep.
You really do have to put it on the calendar.
You got to just make it happen.
Yeah.
We went to recently. It was one of our best friends' birthday, and they invited my wife and I to go with them to a winery in Missouri, and there's a brewery. So this was kind of like on the Katy Trail and all that.
Sweet.
And it was fun. It was, it's not far, but it's, at least an hour away or whatever.
Right.
So you're kind of getting away. Get a sitter and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we stopped at a winery first. So I'm gonna preface this. I'm gonna complain here. This is not a. This was a great time.
Not a good review here.
No, so the
we go.
winery was cool. It was up on the top of this hill. It had a great view of the valley. Now it was a gorgeous day on a Sunday afternoon, and the Monday was a holiday. So I mean, it was the strikes were against us. It was very busy.
It was busy.
Yeah, really busy. But you kind of expect that.
Sure.
But it was okay. I like wine, but it was like crowded, too many people. The wine is in a plastic cup. It's like, what? Okay. So we left there. We went to a brewery. I don't actually remember the name of it. You would probably know, but
It's a
anyway.
one over by there.
What kind of beer did they have?
It just was okay.
Just keep on with
it
the
just
story.
wasn't great. Well, that's where I'm going at with this. So it was like it was just okay.
Yeah.
They brew their beer there, but it was like they only had 6 or 8 choices.
Gotcha.
It wasn't anything overly delicious. The vibe was fine, but
That's
it wasn't.
something you got to watch out for, by the way. If something is overly delicious.
Overly delicious.
Yeah, that could be bad too.
Yeah. you
They
don't want
had
it
a
over-
little bit of food, but it was like a pretzel and mustard or something. But it was like microwave this pretzel and here's your pretzel. So there was whatever, which is fine. They brew beer, but at the end of the day, and then we went to a restaurant in Washington, Missouri. That was disappointing. So everything
You were
was
in
just-
Washington, Missouri? You
Well, we
didn't
ended up there, but
go- you should have just went to Old Bridgeview there.
yeah, we didn't. I know it was the end of our.
You messed up. Yeah.
know.
Should have started and ended there.
Yes. You're right.
He would have found something to complain about.
Tony's a
Well,
good guy
here's the
there.
thing. So in the end, I was like, it was a great time to spend time with your best friends. But like we drove an hour and a half away, and we were kind of disappointed at every stop we went. And I'm like, I could have had great beer in Waterloo, great food in Waterloo, great wine. I don't know, but I'm like, what did we do? Like, and
Yeah.
sometimes you just want to get away from Waterloo, but it was like it
Yep.
wasn't better. It wasn't like, oh, we want to get away to some better thing. It wasn't. So anyway.
We are lucky here.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we've done the same thing. Like, let's go check this town out
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's like, okay, it's
Right.
good. I'm happy that they have
Yeah.
some stuff to do, but like, I'd rather have what we have here. You know?
yeah.
Yeah, we do have a lot of good stuff here.
Kudos to Waterloo.
Yeah, go Waterloo.
What do you got coming up, Kevin? What's been keeping you
what's new?
busy lately?
Well, this next week actually is our big SEMA trade show in Vegas, the Specialty Equipment Market Association show. So flying out this coming weekend. Oh boy.
Nice.
So this is your Super Bowl of the year, right?
This
is
is,
your big deal.
This is the big deal, yeah.
And you're this calm, huh?
Well, I mean, I think
on the outside,
I almost want to say I'm a little numb.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so many things to do to prepare to this, and I think I got them done.
Yeah.
You know,
in plenty of time, and
I think so.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm to the point now where if I didn't, we'll just make it happen.
Right.
We'll get there. So I'll be there the whole week, and on Monday I have to shoot a bunch of videos of some cars that are going to get shown at a banquet on Wednesday night. So I got to shoot 8 or 10 feature videos and edit them all Monday night.
Wow.
And then Tuesday through Friday, I'm doing interviews of people at this central stage thing. And then Wednesday night, I'm emceeing a banquet. Thursday afternoon, I'm emceeing the SEMA Hall of Fame luncheon. And then Thursday night is the banquet that I wrote the script for. And on Tuesday morning is the kickoff breakfast that I wrote the script for. And then Friday is the SEMA cruise where all the cars at this event leave the convention center. And I stand there and talk about them and make stuff up on the mic in front of a crowd. But Thursday night, I'm actually performing.
Really?
Performing?
Yeah, there's a little band that kind of came together called Leadfoot.
What?
Yeah, that Leadfoot's a tradition.
It's like chicken foot, but Leadfoot?
Yeah, it's like
I love it.
It's a car thing.
Yeah.
And Leadfoot goes way before Chickenfoot. These guys have been playing.
Oh, really?
It's one of those
So
bands.
it's a legit band. And they just added you?
No, let's clarify. What were they thinking? No, Leadfoot it's kind of a tradition of people in the automotive industry that go to the show, that come together and they play.
Oh, okay.
And they used to do like kind of bigger shows, and then not like buy tickets kind of thing, but they play venues and stuff that were planned, and then they were playing like before the big banquet, and now they're playing after the banquet. And last year, the lead singer and guitar player, his name is Rich Barsamian, he came to me and he's like, hey, can you do an intro for us for Leadfoot, for the band? And I said, sure. So they're playing in the bar at the Westgate Hotel, kind of the main floor. Vegas,
Sweet.
They all have
Yeah.
those bars, stages and stuff. So I sang 2 songs with them last year, and it was a lot of fun. So they contacted me and they're like, well, you're in again now.
Whitney Houston?
I'm going to propose that. But
So you got in because you did so good last year?
yeah, they actually had me back,
Yeah.
so it's kind of fun. So they're more traditional kind of classic rock and roll, bar band kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I'm doing 4 songs with them.
Wow.
That I didn't choose.
Okay.
Life in the Fast Lane.
Nice.
Taking Care of Business.
And you're singing?
BTO,
Okay.
yeah, I'll be singing.
Like lead?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then All Right Now by Free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I'm duetting with Some Kind of Wonderful, some Grand Funk.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Cool. Is there going to be video evidence of this?
There is video evidence of last year. Yeah, we'll see if we can get it.
Okay.
If it doesn't suck, we'll share.
Right. It doesn't suck. Oh, we're sharing it.
Last year I sang Before You Accuse Me, which is a
Oh, yeah.
great blues tune that I love, and they killed it. They did a great job with it.
That's awesome.
And so again, it's a bar stage, and there's a decent amount of people. There's probably 300 or 400 people there hanging out at the bar, 300, 300, depending on what time of night. Mm-hmm. And I leave the stage and go to the bar, and I'm drinking with our crew and friends and the whole thing. And the singer kind of pages me. He's like, "Where's Osty? Get back here! We got another song." I'm like, "Okay," I unplanned. And I get up there, and he's like, he leans away from the microphone, the way musicians do.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what are we singing? Hey, what was that? Hey, and he just points to the lyric sheet, and they start playing. And it's Springsteen, Pink Cadillac.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never sang that song in my life. Right. And thankfully they had some lyrics. I mean, there's not that many words, but there's a few. And it was fine. It was fun. It was just
Cool. That sounds fun.
But there's like, I don't know. I think at one point there was 11 people in this band. I mean, there's multiple guitarists and drums and keys, and I don't know if they have any horns.
So you nervous?
No, not really.
Of course not.
Kevin,
I mean,
over here.
Nervous.
I'd be so nervous.
I
was
wanna,
nervous driving here.
Well, I would be too if I drove like you. No, it comes at a point of the week after the big banquet on Thursday night, and it's like this is the time to blow off the steam. This is like the major stuff's over. We're in the downhill. It's a celebration.
Even if you look like an idiot, like
Nobody
who
cares. Nobody cares.
That's
Everyone's
awesome.
just out having a good time.
That's
So I'm really
great.
looking forward to it. And each day there are so many different things, going on that it feels like a whole nother event. It's like Wednesday is totally different than Tuesday for me. So by the time I can't even think about Thursday yet because I got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to get
You don't
through.
even have time to worry about Thursday.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be there and happen, and it'll be fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. No,
I was going to say, you
go ahead.
touched on this briefly, and we don't have to get into the whole behind-the-scenes thing, but you and I were talking before the podcast about your photo editing and video editing, and that is something that I'm sure not everybody realizes that you take on with all the stuff that you guys produce.
Yep.
And, you don't have some kid from SIU that you pay to, hey, edit these videos for me and make me look good. You're out here that takes time to edit video and photos and make it into a presentable thing.
Yeah, I do the work.
Right?
And it's cool. I love video. I love photography. I love sound. I love video editing. I love being able to tell a story visually. And part of the challenge is staying on top of the software and the tricks. And cameras keep getting better. And,
That alone could be a full-time job, though, and you're just like, that's your
that should be
side job or whatever.
It really should be a full-time job.
Right.
And when our company started, it was VATV Productions. That's what we did, was video production. And now we do it kind of as our in-house thing. I still do productions for other people. You mentioned before you watched one of our latest videos. That whole thing was shot on a phone.
Yeah.
It was crazy how nice they are.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
As much as I resist that because I'm a real camera guy. But it's funny, another thing that we had recently talked about on a future episode is the fact that this is
something we already talked about.
Yes, in the future.
Episode, yes.
Our company's 20th anniversary. And before Kelly and I started this business, I worked for a television show in Los Angeles producing Hot Rod Magazine TV. And back in those days, there was a video editor. We had two of them. We had two shifts doing day shift, night shift, editing video. And these guys were literally top Hollywood television producers, right? And editors. I was producer. We had a couple editors. And we did some really good stuff. And one of the guys, when I left, one of the other editors, his name is Eric Anderson. Eric split and went on to edit things like, The Bachelorette and NFL Network stuff and real stuff. I mean, this guy was in high demand. Really, really great guy.
Nice.
Tremendous editor. And when COVID hit, he had a house he owned in L.A. and an apartment in New York, and he just wanted to get out. So he went down to Mexico and rented his apartment, rented his house, just lived off the proceeds, moved to Mexico, set up a real high-speed fiber line to his house, and it was editing, network television stuff for the U.S. market for Mexico.
Really?
Killing it, right? Well, we kind of lost touch, and about a month and a half ago, he contacted me. And he's like, hey, dude, I just saw one of your videos on YouTube, what are you doing? And I told him the whole thing, and he's like, I have outtakes from you being on camera 20-some years ago when we were doing Hot Rod together. I'm like, you're kidding me. So I find out that the landscape of television has changed radically because it's all streaming and anybody can make it and blah, blah, blah. Short version of the story is I don't have a kid from SIU editing stuff now. I got Eric Anderson again.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
So come full circle, a guy I used to work with who's just dynamite is now picking up some of the workload and doing a lot of stuff. So the footage, I shoot it here. It goes to Mexico. He's cutting it, sending it back.
Wow.
And we're collaborating on stuff.
Nice.
And
That's cool.
it's really cool to be able to do that. And so everything I know about video editing, basically, I learned from him. I mean, this guy was dynamite. So it's cool. It feels good, and it's a big help.
That's awesome.
I still love doing it. So he'll send me back a video that's like 90%, and then I'll throw a few things on it here and there, change a couple deals, and then boom. And no longer, because we're both 20 years down the line, there's no like, hey, you changed that shot, man.
Yeah, right.
He's like, do whatever you want with this. It's done. I don't care, you know. So that's cool.
Nice.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
You were going to say something. Do you remember what you were going to say, Chris?
I was going to ask more about his preparations for singing.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Like, so do you just like grab those songs on Spotify and just listen to them over and over and over and
No.
like sing those on the way to? No, you're just going to show up and let it rip.
Well, largely. I mean, I know all these songs.
Yeah.
I don't say that I... The weird thing, I don't know if Jared will attest to this. You think you know a song until you intentionally go to try singing.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what goes here?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like with the full band, like the way you know it, you know, it's like, well, obviously this is when I do the ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah.
Right.
But
If they play it that way.
yeah, exactly. I didn't hear that tambourine going, so like I just don't know when to start my ooh, ooh, oohs.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, in this case, my biggest concern was getting the key right,
Yes.
because my register isn't real high.
Yeah?
And I didn't want these guys, because they pick the tunes, and I'm like, I need to do something I can actually sing,
Yeah.
right? So they're like, nope, we're going to play them in the recorded key at the recorded rhythm, and you know, so if you know the recording, you'll know
So
the
just
song.
listen to the song and you'll get it.
So that's pretty much it. And they do have a pad with lyrics on it, so that kind of takes the worry out of it.
It's like singing karaoke.
It really
When
is.
the band's that good, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and these guys are great.
Am I right, Jared?
Right. You know, when you're about to sing Sepultura songs, do you like, you know where that growl comes in?
Yeah, well, I know right when
the
it kicks
fourth
in.
growl
It's right
is
after
the third growl. And
It's right after the big kielbasa followed by the gong hit. Yeah.
exactly.
You know what I saw the other day on the socials, and it made me laugh so hard? A guy took Randy Macho Man Savage and plays him backwards with metal guitar riffs. And
Of course, because the internet.
oh, it is excellent.
I love the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Randy Macho Man backwards.
I haven't listened to him backwards, but some of those interviews, I mean, it's like over and over, like then reel after reel of just Macho Man. It's great.
Right.
And hopefully my phone heard me say this and will play even more because I love it.
All right, well, if the internet works,
Yes.
we're gonna play a little bit of this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It's fantastic.
Oh, that's so great. I gotta
Plus the
find that.
video, because he's pointing backwards and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Doing all the Macho Man stuff backwards.
It had a Megadeth vibe to it there a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Whoever's playing the guitar is killer. The guy does a really good job of hitting all of the...
Nice. He's in the pocket, as they say.
He's totally in the pocket.
Not,
It's
right,
look at
not
this
really
guy.
sure what that means,
Yeah,
but
he's in it. Yeah.
he's there.
Yep.
That's
Well,
awesome.
anyway,
Where were we?
I feel like you might have a new chiller, Chris.
Jared,
Most
red,
obvious
red
segue
segue
right
there.
there.
That was really good. Yes, Jared, I do. Can we go back to Macho Man?
Sure. No, why do you have a new chiller?
Oh, I don't know. I found one that was used and for a good price, and we set it right on top of the existing chiller. And but no, you've probably heard me complain about my glycol chiller on this podcast.
It caused an issue, right? At one
Way
point?
more than one time,
For sure.
Yeah. So
This is a stupid question. What do you do with a chiller?
well, it's basically
Make
like
things cold.
yeah, it's an air conditioning unit that cools off glycol, and glycol goes through every one of our shiny tanks in the brewery. And when we need that beer to be cold, it just sends cold liquid through it, through the jacket, the outside of it. So there's nothing inside.
You're not
It's
mixing glycol into your
just,
beer.
No, sir. No,
Not anymore.
Just want to make that clear.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not since that one accident. We got it
At
contained.
least it's cold.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you don't have your chiller, you don't get to make cold beer. Or when you ferment, the yeast will will create heat And so there is a target fermentation temperature range, and you don't want to go above that because it can start throwing off some fusel alcohols, some like hot flavors. You don't want any of that stuff. No, obviously not.
No hot flavors.
No, and when you're making a lager, that needs to ferment at like 48 to 50 degrees, and you definitely can't do that with
hot
chiller that's out. Yeah, so I got a backup, and I plumbed it all in. Did that today. I plumbed my chiller. Yeah. And I valved it so that if my existing one goes down, I can use the new one.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And when we want to use the big tank that's outside, we can dedicate one chiller to the big tank and one to inside. So now one chiller doesn't have to struggle to do both anymore. So everybody's happy.
This guy's zoning over here.
Really?
Yeah.
I know.
It's impressive.
It is. Are you excited?
I'm super excited. I'm very excited. Yeah.
I feel like people are going to comment, like, this beer tastes really chill.
It's so chill.
Yeah, it's so chill.
This beer is surprisingly free of hot flavors.
It's cold brewed.
Cold brewed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that's cool.
Like
was that
Rocky
something you've been
Mountain
wanting to do for a while, or just it felt like a necessity
kinda,
or something?
But when we found the chiller,
the Frosty 3000.
That's what it is. The Frosty 3000. We get the 4000 actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
come on.
If you're going to do
What are you
it, do it
looking at
right.
here?
Yeah,
This
still
guy.
got a little more to do. Got to insulate all the pipes and everything.
Yeah.
because he's just sweating and losing efficiency. So you got to insulate and made a nice little rack to. So it's beer nerd stuff.
I mean, it's a beer podcast.
But I'm excited.
Yeah,
about
we gotta talk about beer every once in a while.
Okay, so we did. We fulfilled our.
Somebody talked to me at work today. They were like, "So what do you got going on this week?" And I was like, "Well, tonight I'm podcasting." And they're like, "What? You have a podcast?" Which I don't know how this person. I work with this person all the time. I don't know how they didn't know that.
And you're always playing it in your office.
Yeah, that's
right,
crazy.
all the time. I was like, "Yeah." And what is? Well, it's it's at the brewery. Well, at the brewery, what do you talk about? Like, well, the brewery stuff, like beer and
Sometimes
They're
yeah.
like, what?
Or
you have
anything?
a podcast where you just talk about beer? I'm like, yeah, it's kind of fun.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there is a lot. And
There
it's
is a
like,
lot.
you'd be surprised what all we get into. Like chillers, Frosty 4000.
That's right.
4000. Yeah. Yep.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah,
I'm
the
blessed.
Frosty 4000.
I'm blessed to get a 4000.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Hashtag.
You mentioned in your hashtag blessed. You mentioned in your list something coming up that actually sounds pretty cool. That I think everybody's going to like.
Hashtag blessed
You've
and chilled.
got yet another German beer fest coming up.
It's a beer fest.
A beer
I
fest,
wouldn't
not a
necessarily call
German.
it
It's
German
a French
beer
beer
fest.
fest.
It's a French beer
I
fest.
appreciate
You're
it.
bringing the German
Yeah, I'll be bringing the
to
German.
the
yeah.
fest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a beer fest.
you know.
Okay. what is
So,
it?
and this is actually like something that might be a fun contribution to the podcast, possibly.
Interesting.
Comment below wherever that is,
Right down there.
if you want to hear more about this. But
You
so,
have to point down.
you point down
Yeah,
and then
down.
Right.
so they can
Comment
see me do
below.
this.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm pointing down, everybody.
theater of the mind, man.
Yeah. So no, we're the idea here. The premise is we actually the firm, the homebrew club that meets here once a month. We actually lost one of our really really good involved members, Karina Mager, and she's been sick for a little bit. And,
Bummer.
And it was really sad. So now and she was such a big part of the club. She did everything that anything that needed to be done. She was like the first one to raise her hand, volunteering for things. Would cook for the meetings and stuff, and like we send around a sign up sheet to claim food for a certain month. She would sign up like 4 or 5 months. Like it's meant for everyone to do
Yeah,
1 month.
right,
And she's like, oh no, I'll cook. I like it. So yeah, she was great, and so yeah, we're just like a bunch of old men down there right now, like lost and like, yeah, we don't know. Yeah,
There's no food.
There's no food. We're starving. We're scratching pizza out of a box. It's stupid. Yeah, but no. The idea here. So her husband Jeff is also obviously a member and a really really good home brewer. And so what we're gonna do is we want to have a beer festival for her and give the money to Jeff and their 2 kids.
Nice.
That she was sick for a little bit, so lots of medical expenses. That stuff adds up. Not working. Jeff wasn't working, so time lost there. Fuel.
Sure. Yeah, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're like we should try to do something. So, and that's one thing as a homebrew club we can do. We can throw a beer festival. We know that BBQ is successful, and we know what kind of money it can make. And like, wouldn't it be awesome to just be able to have a festival, have some fun, and kind of remember her in a good way, and give Jeff a nice check, and here, this is for you, So that's what we're
Cool.
planning. So, like, I know nothing more than that. We're thinking about timing of the year. So we're thinking, like, February, an indoor type situation would be good.
Where would you do it?
We were thinking the fairgrounds, Monroe County Fairgrounds.
Oh.
Because then, so my thought there is that if it is crappy, terrible February weather, no problem. Well, first of all, no one's going to do anything else. There's nothing else going on, so you might as well go to a beer festival. But you can have it inside at like the Fine Arts building there right next to the food pavilion, so we could have it there. Or if you luck out and hit a nice February weather day, which they do exist, I've seen it a couple times, you could have it outside, like under the food pavilion there.
Yeah. So the only concern I would have, you need to check into this.
Yeah.
They used to rent that building out for storage over the winter.
No, that's the
bigger one?
I'm talking the smaller one that's connected to the
in front of the food thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Right off to the side. Yeah.
Right
That's
behind
actually a
the
pretty good
stands,
size.
whatever.
Building, and I think it would be okay for a beer
Where they
festival.
judge the photographs.
Yes. All that stuff.
and
Fine
the
arts.
jewelry. And
Yep.
Gotcha.
Very fine. The arts are.
Nice.
These are fun.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. That's the last homebrew club meeting that we had was basically we just kind of talked about that. Like, we want to have it, so people start thinking about it, where we want to have it, how we want to do it, and that's like where we are right now. So I thought it'd be cool as we keep podcasting to kind of give updates and just, let.
For sure.
First of all, like, the free advertising is cool, so we'll do it for that. Like, we want to beat everyone to death with this. Like, let's go. You have to come. But second of all, I think it's kind of cool to like talk about like the behind the scenes type stuff that goes into throwing a good beer festival because I mean there's right ways to do it and wrong ways, and I don't know.
There really is. I love that idea, and it just gave me an idea.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe you should auction that. We did an auction at an event I was at over the summer, unplanned. This is in September. It's a car show called the Triple Crown of Rotting, and at this event, we finished up the award ceremony, and there's all these people there, and they're all waiting for the big prize giveaway, which was a new truck, as a matter of fact, a brand new truck.
A brand new truck?
A brand new truck,
Holy cow.
$80,000 value.
I was going to say, it must be $1 million.
Yeah. But before we gave the truck away, one of the guys that I was doing the stage with, his name was Tim Strange, Tim had this idea. So some of the people there that were participating dressed up, 70s kind of stuff, because some of the cars were like 70s themes. So these two guys are in a gold suit, with Elvis glasses and everything. And Tim says, well, before we give the truck away, the Gary Sinise Foundation was a recipient of this event. So all weekend long, there was little fundraisers for the Sinise Foundation.
That's Lieutenant Dan, right?
It is Lieutenant Dan, yeah. And it's a great foundation. They do so much for
I have heard of that, yeah.
veterans and veterans' families
that's really cool.
that need stuff. So Tim says, "You two guys with your gold suits on, we're gonna do an auction right now to raise some more money for Sinise. So who wants those pants? For $50, right?" So I start the bidding. We ended up auctioning off both the suits. We auction off posters that are signed by some of the other celebrity people that were there. Blah blah blah. On the spot, not planned. We raised $68,000.
Holy cow.
I mean, just like that.
No.
Honest to God. It was incredible.
$68,000?
It was so cool. Yeah.
That is amazing.
It was amazing. And a big part of it was because the people that are in attendance are of the caliber to be able to buy a custom-made rendering of their car by Chip Foose for $10,000, and that's what we sold one for,
Wow.
So what I would say to you is maybe some kind of a little auction component as a fundraiser.
That'd be fun, yeah.
Who wants Chris's shorts?
Who wants my pants?
Who would pay to not get Chris's pants?
If I don't have to go
One
home
of you's getting
with
his
those
shorts.
smelly beer
You better
pants.
pay now if you don't want it.
Beer pants.
Beer covered.
No,
You
that's a good
translate that, and then there's a word of the day, right? Smelly beer pants.
Smelly beer pants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I have written down auction on my.
Yeah, I
I
would
like
do
it.
it.
That's not a bad idea.
It's a good way to get people involved to help her out. Help out the family.
Well, we've become suddenly a beer fest band, so if you need a band to play for free,
All of a sudden.
saying,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds cool, though. That's obviously a great cause, and I
It's
think
something
it'll be
we can all
good for
participate
people,
in it. And my thought was like, okay, we can have all the home brewers and all. We have other contacts in other areas of home brewers that would probably want to. She went to all these festivals. She knows people everywhere. Everywhere. So I'm sure once word gets out that we want to do this, we'll have people wanting to come and bring their beer. So like it's all great. But I was also thinking we could do professional beers, commercial beers too. So like we would have all beer there also. One of the legal limits
right.
is like if a place already has a liquor license, like if we wanted to do that here, it'd be tricky within our area. Like I think it's possible, but it's very, very tough. You have to dance around all kinds of stuff. So, but out there, you would just get a liquor license for this festival. So we could have whoever we want, homebrew, commercial beer, whatever. It wouldn't matter. So that's kind of that's a plus there for sure. So in the same way, she would go to all these breweries. She knows brewers, so everyone I think would be happy to either donate beer and have a volunteer serve it or bring their own stuff and serve it.
So it sounds like you're saying that there could potentially be a bunch of homebrew beers there, sort of like a barbecue.
Sort of like a BBQ,
Nice.
minus
That's
the Q.
awesome.
Without the BQ.
The
Right.
BQ.
I mean, this sounds
And
really cool.
The beer, no BQ.
Yeah. And then also commercial beers on top. So
Nice.
You named it yet?
no, not yet. Karina Fest? I'm not really sure.
Korean Fest. That's what it's going to turn into. You got to be careful.
Karina.
No, we can't do that. So
that's
yeah,
awesome. Now, speaking of,
it would be a one time, one and done kind of thing. So we want to blow it up. We want to make it huge and just let everybody know this is the one huge thing. Like, let's go for it. So I don't know.
So behind the scenes, starting off today, we've got
You heard it
Karina's beer on tap here at the brewery.
Yes.
And I'm going to speak out of turn here. So that's some of the proceeds from that go to her family, right?
All of the proceeds.
All of the proceeds from. So come in here, drink. It's double dry hopped, I think, IPA.
Yes. Yeah, it's a hazy IPA. It was her favorite beer style.
Yeah.
We made it at Mill Pond. When I say we, it was Brian from Mill Pond. It was us, White Rooster, and Shoehorn. She actually worked for Shoehorn for a little bit in the brewery and bartended there. And then just was really good friends with the rest of us. So us 4 breweries got together and made this beer at Mill Pond, and it's ready and on tap at all 4 places
collaboration beer. Yeah, so go to any of those venues.
It's the same beer at all 4 places.
Get the beer.
Nice.
Proceeds go to the family.
But literally,
it's a good beer.
like our pint, it costs $7.50 for a pint of that. All $7.50 goes to her family.
That's awesome.
It's
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
That
I'm
is-
excited. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. And that kind of starts the ball rolling with getting into this festival for her family. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Trying to turn
I think it's going to be fun.
lemons into lemonade.
Yeah, right.
A little bit. 'Cause what else can
Good
you
for
do?
you guys for doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Goat pee into gasoline.
Now, I know that's down the road.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's what we're all trying to do.
It's all the goat pee.
Yeah.
That is down the road. But
It is,
very soon coming up, you've got
Oh, yeah.
the annual Black Beer
We have
Friday.
More beer shenanigans.
And I will tell you what, man. One of the beers you'll be serving is your mint chocolate stout, which I am a huge fan.
That is definitely a Black Beer Friday beer.
It's
for
good.
sure.
It is so good.
Yeah.
If you
If there's
envision,
any left,
If Kevin doesn't drink
kidding.
it all,
I'm going to take it with
Yeah.
me.
so
So
on a
the
6 pint over here.
the the little Andes candies, right? This is the beer of that. It's got just enough
I know what you mean,
chocolate, just enough mint.
well, along those lines, like if you said,
Peppermint
it's a
patty
mint
kinda-
chocolate stout, you might think, it's going to be over the top with mint, or it's going to just taste like chocolate. No, it's subtle, but in a good way. Like it's got all the flavor you want,
It's
and not
there,
too
but
much.
it's not. Yeah, exactly.
It's the
delicious.
perfect mix of the three, of the mint, chocolate, and the beer. They just, as you're drinking it, you can choose to savor any one of those three.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
that's
individually.
That's a great way to say it, and that's kind of how we try to go after that. Is the base beer by itself, the stout. You want to make a good beer behind it.
Yeah.
And then you should have a little bit of mint and a little bit of chocolate, not a ton of either. And they should all 3 be in balance.
No, it really works well.
And that'll be available
beer.
for Black Beer Friday.
Black Beer Friday.
But
So
I
it's Black
think
Friday.
Right. So, let's. Everybody ought to know at this point, but
I would think so.
What is Black Beer Friday?
Oh gosh, okay,
I
I'll
know,
say
right?
it one more time. So, day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. Instead of going to wait in line at Best Buy for a TV that you're not going to get because you're the 51st person in line, just come here and drink beer with all of us.
There you go.
Right? Jared will have some of his favorite, darkest beers on.
I mean, I got to say,
with a funnel hat.
You all know I'm not a fan of stouts, but last year was my first Black Beer Friday.
Yeah? Did you find something to
I
drink?
did. There was plenty that I enjoyed.
Good.
Yeah, it was good. And really, you don't even have to drink beer, and you'll have a good time.
That's true. We still have bourbon.
Just because you're not waiting in line at a store.
Yeah. Well, and everybody here is having fun. You got we have a
German
band playing.
The Schwarzekatzen.
Yeah. I mean,
the Black
Cats.
The Schwarzekatzen.
It's a great time.
Yeah,
Schwarzekatzen.
awesome. So yeah,
some of
6
us
a.m.
got here super early. Yes.
6 a.m. We unlock the doors. We tell the band to hit it, and it's just brass band going nuts right at 6 a.m. It's cool. If you can't wake up right there, I don't know how you wouldn't like.
Now it's all day.
Yeah,
but really,
all day and all night.
If you can, get up early, get up here about 5 or 5:30, get in line.
Yep.
And that is the best way to enjoy it.
Right.
Come in here, the doors open. The energy is like crazy.
Yeah.
Find you a seat, find you a spot. And
how many Schwarze Bier will you have on?
There'll be 18.
Oh boy,
Schwarz beers. And so the way we do it is we make our own flights. So like you can't come in and pick your own flight unless we're like dead, which never happens until like nighttime. But yeah.
That's a term for slow.
Slow. Dead. Right, dead. Same thing.
We're dead.
Unless Chris and Tammy pass somewhere in the day,
then I guess
you can order whatever flight you want.
You can make up your own
then
flight.
You can pick your flight.
Chris can't say no, so
we're dead.
Well, we're among the living. There's no choice.
Chris would not like this. But yeah, we pre-plan 3 flights. Each flight has like 2 barrel-aged beers on it. Each one is going to have like a lighter beer that's probably in the 4% range. Each one will have like a stout.
Now, to be clear, none of the taps are going to have lagers and ales and IPAs or whatever.
Yeah, if you want light beer, don't show up on Black Beer Friday.
So when he says a lighter beer, it's black. It just might be less black than the other one.
I hate to like be that guy, but we literally have had on Black Beer Friday, someone will show up and be like, I'll have a Kolsch. I'm like, no, ma'am, this is Black Beer Friday.
Yeah, they legitimately change out all the taps.
Well, and you need all the taps,
beers.
Basically.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got 18 different beers.
We have 18 taps. We have 18 black beers.
And then when it blows, it's done.
Then it's done, and then we do put like Kolsch back on. As soon as the first black beer goes off, I'll start putting like the lightest beers back on. So when like those people come in, there is something.
Now you mentioned some new beers this year.
We have new black beers for Black Beer Friday. A few. A lot of them are the same.
Sure.
And we only make them one time a year, and it's for Black Beer Friday. So we always try to make them a little bit better than last year. But this year we have a couple of the standouts for me. We did this one was kind of fun. I broke out my old homebrew equipment, and we basically were outside here, and we homebrewed a batch of Baltic Porter. I don't think I could sell a whole tank of Baltic Porter. Baltic Porter is basically like a 8%, 9% alcohol.
It's for real.
Porter, and it's like a Russian kind of that's historically
that's what you end up speaking after the end of one of them. Yeah, you get the accent of it.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know how well this would sell, but I do enjoy the style, so we made 5 gallons of it.
Okay.
What else? We made a breakfast stout that we've made a few different versions of breakfast stouts throughout the years, but this one I think is the best. It's like 7.5%, I want to say, percent alcohol, so it's a little high in ABV. So, but that means that there's like good body and backbone there, and a little bit of sweetness to back up all the stuff because we put coffee in it, vanilla, cinnamon, eggs, bacon. Yeah, it's all in there.
Right.
But that's a good. And it's an oatmeal stout, so that's for the breakfast. Comes in also. But that's a really good one. That's on tap right now, actually, too. And we have one that, as of our recording, we haven't even brewed yet, but I'm super excited about it. It's called Good Boy Brown, and it's a beer can, the can label is going to have a picture of my dog Roscoe on it because he's such a good boy.
Okay, such a good old boy.
He's a good boy.
Roscoe's a good dog. I like Roscoe.
Yeah, so I got a good picture of him.
cool.
He's just kind of smiling, looking at looking like a goofy dog. So pretty excited about that one. I hope everybody
Nice.
likes Good Boy Brown. Yeah.
Okay. It's a good time. Get up here, get here early. But even if not, if it's the middle of the day, you already went shopping. Maybe you even had a second Thanksgiving at your house in the afternoon. Come
That's
up
right.
here.
It is
late
fun
afternoon, evening.
I mean, yeah, like my favorite time is about maybe 11-ish, 12, something like that. Well, I've already worked for a few hours, so then I just find as soon as someone leaves, I grab the bar stool and I just sit.
You're ready to punch the clock then,
Yeah, and then, hey, someone clock me out. Which, I mean, I don't clock in, so. But then you get to hang out, and you just see these waves of people, like you get all these people leaving, and then here's all these people showing up, and, it's, I don't know, it's just so cool, because then it's like deja vu all over again. The bartenders are like, well, this is Black Beer Friday, and we have 3 flights.
No, we don't have Kolsch.
No, we still don't have Kolsch.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
It is cool.
No, it's a good time.
It's a fun event for sure. So, yeah.
And
Swing
it
by if you
definitely
can.
is, like, if you've ever stood in line at Best Buy or Famous Bar or whatever,
Yeah, we have
and
doorbusters.
you're like, this sucks. We're not going to get any of the stuff we wanted to get. Just come here instead.
So here's the thing. All that stuff that you're waiting in line for at Best Buy, you can get on Amazon.
Yeah,
you can't
right.
get any of these beers on
No,
Amazon.
well, you could, but
Bingo.
it wouldn't taste good.
You can't drink them here
I don't
if you're on
think you
Amazon.
can.
I don't
No,
think
you
so.
can't.
Yeah.
You
Not
can't
yet.
get them online, and you definitely
Can't-
can't enjoy them fresh.
Can't hear the Schwarzkatzen.
Exactly. That's right. The Schwarzkats and rock the house, HAUS.
The house.
Does anybody else do a Black Beer Friday? Is this a thing?
Not that I know of.
I've never heard of any other.
As far as I know, Scott Davis, one of our older bartenders, when we first opened, he was one of the first one. He was on our original crew.
Yeah.
But him and I were just talking like, as a joke, oh, we should just like open the bar and and I'm like, oh, we should put black beers on, and he's like, well, we should open at 6 a.m. and you should have doorbusters, and we just kind of kept going back and forth, and it was like, I'm like, Tammy, I think I have the best idea ever.
Well, of course,
Nice.
especially after a few.
Oh yeah,
Saw Scott here tonight.
yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Good.
talked to him. So
I didn't see him.
Oh no, he wasn't here tonight. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was the other Scott.
Well, hi, Scott.
Yeah. So, but what was cool is actually Pat was here. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not Scott.
Yeah. Pat will love that you
Called him Scott.
called him Scott.
Well, I would often see those two guys together,
Yes,
and they're like a
I know.
bad marriage. So.
Yeah, exactly.
What I think is cool though is you guys invented that. I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That could play anywhere.
For sure.
You should license that.
Yeah.
For licensing opportunities, go to stubborngerman.com.
For a free brochure, said $9.99.
95 for free. Sure, that's right.
Shipping and handling.
Not included. That's really great.
It's fun.
What else has been going on lately? What do you guys had going on? Been coming up? Anything else?
I don't know. I think,
Catching up.
There's so much. It's just the end of the year for me always kind of picks up. I mentioned before on a future episode that we're having a customer appreciation event on November, the same night you're playing, I think.
This sounds awesome. Tell me all about it.
No.
Well,
When are you playing Tiny's?
the second.
And then you're also playing the
16th.
16th. Yeah, that's the day.
The 16th is the day.
Yeah, and that's just hors d'oeuvres and some tunes and tours and stuff of some customers that we really appreciate, and we've got some cool cars on display and stuff. So kind of a nice little fall party.
And that's for your 20th anniversary.
It's part of our 20th anniversary celebration,
super cool
year thing,
Yeah.
And then we will have already gone to Vegas and come back for that, and then the weekend after that is that muscle car show at Chicago that we're going to have a big presence at. 7 cars on display, and that show does a magazine that just came out actually, and we've got a 2-page spread in it.
Really?
Yeah, of all the stuff, all the cars we're bringing, and it's pretty exciting. Magazines are funny because in my generation we grew up reading them. Today, a lot of people say print is dead, and there's no place for it anymore. But when you see something that if there was a picture of Stubborn German printed in a magazine, you'd still think it's cool.
Yeah.
It just is.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
So that was kind of fun.
Well, and on the other, like, if I had any kind of connection with whatever I'm seeing, I would totally pick that up and read it as
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah,
How do we get this place shot for a magazine?
yeah.
And which one? You've been in print before. You guys have.
Yeah, we've been in Zymergy for Old Ledger Lager. Zymergy is like the it's from the American Homebrewers Association.
Okay.
It's like when you're a member there, it's their it's their magazine that they put out. But
It's the sister publication to Zempti.
I was waiting for it.
yes, Kevin, that's what it is.
Mine's empty.
Haven't you been to some of the other local St. Louis things? And they've done periodic reviews.
Yeah,
and
some of like the like the
People that popped in
and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's fun, and yeah, we'll take that all day. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
we love it. It's cool. Any attention is good attention.
Well, it is for sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's all good stuff that they're talking about. So I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, it's very nice of them.
So that's kind of our November, and then in December there's another automotive racing show in Indy that we'll be at, and this year my lovely wife Kelly is on the SEMA board of directors.
Yes.
So she's got a lot of things going on at these different events.
Gotcha.
On entirely different levels than
Yeah.
than what I do.
So I guess that's a question we didn't really get into. What is her SEMA experience going to be like?
Hers
this year
hers is
compared to-
interesting because we've talked about this before. She is the type of person who gets involved with something and then figures out a way to make it better, or listens to people's complaints and say, okay, well, we need to fix that. And that's kind of where she's at with that trade organization. Being on the board, there are all kinds. I mean, if you can imagine, there's over 7,000 companies that are members of this global organization.
Wow.
That they all have different concerns, and the biggest overreaching one is that let's do everything we can to have our business fall within the realm of legality in this world, right, in this country. And so, if you go to certain countries, like in Italy, you can't really change anything on your car legally.
Really?
Yeah, they just don't let you personalize it, customize it, improve the performance. Can't really do anything.
That stinks.
Yeah, here you can for now. So
Yeah.
anyway, that organization has Washington offices and people that represent and blah, blah, blah. But there's like all the way down to little things about how you get into their trade show every year and ways to communicate. And Kelly's like looking at every one of these things like, well, that's a bad idea. We could do this better. So she's going to be having meeting after meeting of not only organized things, but just talking to people that are in the association and that own other businesses about, so what isn't working for you and what can we do now and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's really impressive what she's been able to do.
It sounds
And
right up her alley.
It is. And she takes it.
Give me a problem. I want to fix it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And not I want to, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I will.
I will fix this. Whether you're ready for the fix or not. No,
Right.
no. But she's got this amazing ability to listen to a bunch of people and listen to different sides, and then get people to land on a decision and then make it and do it. That's the gold right there. So that's what she's going to be doing. And it's funny, we were talking, and she's like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing all week. You've got all these things planned out where you have to be places and do stuff at certain times, and I'm just going to, she's got a schedule of certain events, but there's some holes in the middle, and like, you don't have to worry about it. You are going to be jammed end to end.
Yeah, you will find plenty to do.
So another thing that's pretty cool is, we've touched on the 20th anniversary of our business, V8 Speed and Resto Shop. The very first car we built, the guy who did the majority of the body and metal work on it was Kelly's brother, John.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he was a career collision technician, and he helped us out with that car, kind of moonlit. We did it overnight. He worked his day job, and we would work on it overnight.
Yeah.
And he, ever since then, we've been trying to like hire him to work in our shop full time, but we could never match his benefits and
Right.
all the rest of it until last month.
Nice.
And he finally joined our team full time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is cool.
It took almost 20 years.
Wow.
Fine.
but it's so great because
That's
he's
awesome.
so talented, and
Yeah.
he's heading up our metal fabrication shop and working with the team and just bringing what he brought from day one.
Yeah.
And it's a work ethic. Again, her family has this ethic that just is nonstop, and won't
yeah.
back down to anything.
It probably feels like you guys just kind of went full circle.
We went full circle.
Yeah, yeah.
In so many ways. So like right now, those early cars came back to go to the show,
Right.
full circle. The video editor, Eric, that I used to work with, he's back, full circle. And brother-in-law,
Yeah.
John, back, So I'm connecting with like why we wanted to do this in the first place and what it was like, except now we got all the cool stuff that we dreamed
Yeah.
about back then.
Yeah.
So things are great. I mean,
That's awesome.
it's a really cool time for
That's
us right
really
now.
cool. Good for you.
And John is going to the SEMA trade event. He's never been before.
Okay,
And he's been waiting
awesome.
20 years to go to this thing.
Very cool.
So he's all excited because he doesn't know what to expect. He's never been to Vegas. So
Nice.
that's going to be fun to see
yeah,
another Waterloo guy,
Yeah.
see the bright lights.
Is our buddy Cue Ball going to make it?
Cue Ball actually is filling in for Brian, our other parts guy, who is going. So Cue Ball's coming
Sorry,
here.
Cue
Somebody's
Ball.
got to do the work.
Yeah. I'll say I should send him here that week because he's staying at my house
Yeah, there you go.
for the week. So while we're gone. He went last year, but
Yeah, cool.
yeah.
Very good.
So
Well,
there's
speaking
a lot going on.
of 20th anniversary, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up what we've had going on recently. My wife and
Your
I
own.
had our 25th anniversary.
Nice.
And we wanted to celebrate it here. We
Yeah.
had it all planned out, but
We bumped them.
yeah, the weather happened and Stubbornfest got bumped, and and Chris and Tammy definitely said we could still have it here if we wanted, but it was just going to be, I think, too much, too crazy. So
Yeah.
we pivoted at the last second. We did it at the Wine Bar, which is a block away, and it was a great time. We had a bunch of friends and family, but I have a bourbon story that goes along with this.
Really?
so
Okay. Do tell.
I don't think now. My wife is a dedicated listener, so she's definitely going
course
to
she
hear
is,
this.
yeah.
But I don't think she'll be.
So get it right.
She won't mind too much me saying this, but I love you, honey. So she wanted to buy me a bottle of bourbon for our anniversary
Cool.
and something special, but she doesn't know anything about whiskey, and so she asked her uncle, who is a whiskey drinker and kind of knows his stuff, and she asked him, "What should we get?"
Is it mellow corn?
And the first thing he said was mellow corn.
It's Malort.
It's a top shelf. And so we had recently been to their house. They live in Tennessee. He's got an amazing bar. I want to show you guys that sometime. It is so crazy cool, just in his basement. But anyway, one of the things that we tried at his house was Blanton's.
Yeah.
And we talked about it and whatever. And so he told my wife, "Hey, if you can find it, get a bottle of Blanton's. That'd be nice."
Yeah, it'd be nice.
And so she goes out on the hunt. Literally, the first place, I don't know why she didn't come here first, but the first place she
No, we
went
don't have that.
was, I know, but the first place she went was the liquor store here in town. Mm-hmm. And
$2.50.
so she goes in there, and she doesn't really know what she's looking for, but
Right.
she's not finding it on the shelves or anything. And she kind of knows what it looks like, so she sees
We have to unlock that one.
behind the counter is a bottle of Blanton's. And she asks about it. She has no idea what this should cost or anything. And the guy's like, "Yeah, we've got that. That's Blanton's Gold." And he pulls it down. And it's, of course, a little bit more than a bottle of Blanton's costs. And she doesn't know. And she just okay, I'll take that.
Oh,
And anybody that knows. But a bottle of Blanton's Gold on the street is well over $300, maybe $330, $350, depends on where you go. She didn't tell me exactly what she paid, but I know it was
In that range.
in that range.
Yeah.
And so she presents this to me on our anniversary, or actually the day of the party, and I'm like, kind of stunned, what the heck? This is real. This is great. I'd never thought
Yeah.
I would get a bottle of Blanton's Gold.
Hope I don't drop it.
And I said, I know what this costs. And she's like, "You do?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, I'm like, "What made you get this?" "Well, my uncle said." And so
Uncle
that
Fancy
night,
Pants.
he was at our party, and I said, "Oh, hey, I guess I have you to thank for that bottle of Blanton's Gold." And he looked at me shocked, like, "What?
You got gold?
Yeah.
I didn't tell her.
No."
that.
And he's like, "No, I told her Blanton's." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense." I would have been surprised if you suggested she spend, $350 on
I
a
said
bottle of
Evan
bourbon.
Williams.
Yeah, right.
I don't know where the translation
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
So, I'm very thankful, and I actually already opened it. I opened it with some friends the next night.
Sweet.
And it's delicious. I
Yeah.
loved it. It's really good. Awesome. Much better than Blanton's, in my opinion.
Yeah.
but not a bottle I would ever buy myself.
Sure.
So
yeah.
I was
that makes a great
grateful
gift then.
that she got it. Yeah, you always want to get a gift that you wouldn't get yourself.
Right.
And it's delicious. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
But she had no idea what she was doing when she bought it. So anyway, but yeah, so we had
Good job,
a great
Kristen.
anniversary.
That's very good. Yeah.
And
Awesome.
yeah, good times.
I'm glad that all worked out. That
Yes.
was probably the one thing that we were most like. We don't
How
have
do we get Jared and Kristen out of the bar on that night?
Yeah.
No, that
No.
was the thing. We were like, we don't have an answer for it. We're like, it's,
Tammy was very gracious about continuing to offer that to us, and we were like, no. It's
well,
okay.
you
I
made
get
the
it.
right decision. I mean, it would have been
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it would have worked. Like we would have made it.
I mean,
happen,
it
but-
would have been crazy. Just our
Yeah.
friends and family just parking and us bringing
exactly.
stuff in and
Yeah.
setting. I mean, it would have been a whole thing. So it would have been cool still and fun, and to be part of the energy of
Right.
Stubborn Fest.
Sure.
But
That would have been a lot.
It was best to pivot.
We were happier to just have you like play here.
Yeah. Which also worked out because
Yeah,
we weren't going to be able
You
to do
weren't-
that
Oh
at
man,
first.
how
Yeah.
many text messages did
Oh
we
my
have back and
gosh.
forth?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was.
But
That's awesome.
it all worked out. Everybody's happy. I guess.
I guess that's all I got going on. I'm pretty
Yeah.
boring besides all that. So, you
Well,
guys got anything else?
yeah. No, it's just, again, a lot all the time and looking forward to going through the end of the year and
Yep.
getting things going. And I really, we're going to work a lot harder on putting things on the calendar for next year. We did pretty well last year. This 24 was just strange for us.
Yeah.
I don't know. It took everything we had just to get the work done, I think. And,
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I've not been. I don't know what even the best way to say it is. I've been kind of irresponsible to our leisure time.
Yeah.
You
You
feel
know.
guilty of
Well,
the,
I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I get that.
we should have taken more time, and we chose not to. So that's kind of a thing for 25.
You got to make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So when's
Well-
as far as the upcoming performances of Far Out, is there anything new and exciting on the playlist that we're looking at?
We've been working on a couple. This sort of happened weird timing. So this Spattenfest came out of nowhere very suddenly.
So Rammstein.
well, of
For sure,
course,
yeah.
You know.
Since
We had sort of
Leibach?
been taking a break from practicing. We actually did. We recorded some video of ourselves playing out at the farm, and we wanted it to be sort of promotional material. And so we actually we've posted 2 full songs, which weren't really promotional. This was just like something we wanted to do, and we posted it. We have like 6 or 7 songs that we're going to make sort of a clips from and make a single sort of
Real?
yeah.
a montage.
Yeah.
Video
something that we can send to a bar owner or whoever and be like, this represents what you're going to get if we play here. So promotion. I still have to edit that because it's a lot to kind of figure out which parts work and how this goes together. So we haven't done that yet, but
Too
that's
bad
coming.
you don't know a guy.
I know, some video editing. Maybe somebody in
Sounds like
Mexico.
your
or
wife's
something.
pretty good at it too.
Yeah, she is good. Well, and no, she filmed it. I just did the audio, so I sent her the audio to sync up with the video, and she did all that. So now she threw the videos back at me and was like, "Now it's on you. You go make it into a thing." So
That's cool.
We'll see. But yeah, so that's coming. But that being said, we haven't been practicing a lot of new songs. We just started 2 or 3 new ones, but they're not ready for the next show.
So if
we'll see.
you really want to make that video sing, and if you want to really compel
Yes.
a club
Of course.
owner to hire you based on that video,
Yes.
you want to while the music's playing, there's an effect you can do. It's called a whip pan, and it just kind of a blur, pan across, so you can put a different clip in, and it doesn't have to be the same room. It can be a different scene,
Yeah.
but because you blur it on the way,
Okay.
you kind of confuse the viewer.
A whip pan,
But you do a
Like
whip
the
pan.
Scooby-Doo thing? Like
yeah,
the-
kind of. Yeah, exactly. Little transition.
Yeah.
You do a whip pan
Wayne's World
to a parking lot full of Rolls Royces.
Oh, okay.
And then you just come right back.
That's always.
And then the bartender, the
subliminal,
owner is going to be
oh,
like,
these
"Yeah, we got to
guys.
hire these
Yep.
guys.
Yeah.
Those people showed up.
They know
yeah,
what they're doing. Yep.
Are those the bar owners' Rolls Royces? Yeah. Well, let's hire them.
I think we'll just pan over SEMA.
This is
and
the
be like,
crowd?
yeah,
The people
Yeah.
that your groupies all drive Rolls Royces.
Right, yeah.
We're hiring you because you're going to drink a lot of booze.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. But
Love it.
yeah, nothing too new with the music, but we do have couple 80s songs we're working
Oh.
on. We always like busting out an 80s. My wife says we need to take it easy
Peter-
with the country music.
Peter
We've
Gabriel?
got too many countries.
No?
No Peter Gabriel.
Sledgehammer? Was that Peter Gabriel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's off the So album
Yeah.
from
Good song.
1986.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess they're not
Great
doing
story
that.
about that
Doing that
record.
one,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
I remember when that one came out.
What I'm going to do is figure out what Kevin's doing at his show, and then we're going to cover that.
No, you don't want to do that.
And then whenever he's in the crowd,
Hey, Kevin, let's go.
Kevin!
I know,
Yeah.
come on up. Yep.
Oh,
you can sing all right now.
yeah.
It's only 2 words. All right now. Oh,
Or
3.
three.
It's three,
There
yeah.
might
Oh,
be 3.
oh, baby, it's
It's
Well, so what's the opening lyric, Mr. Funny Guy? So you don't know, do you?
No, I don't.
And that's the hard
It's
part. We all know the all right now part.
Yeah. Are there actual lyrics
Oh,
besides
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah. There
Okay.
she stood.
There she stood. There she stood.
Very good. Thank you for that.
wow.
I don't know the next one.
I think it's in the street.
In the street. No.
Yeah, but we'll get there.
Well, as much as our listeners love hearing us make up lyrics to songs, what they really want to hear is us making up answers to definitions to German word of the day.
Great
Can
work,
we do a
Jared.
German word of the day daily double, by the way? Because I just thought of one that's great because it's both
Yeah.
English and German.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
I'll throw it out there. You tell me what it
let's do
means.
Double.
Yeah, go.
Delicatessen.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, delicatessen.
What does it mean? Come on, Mr. German.
Does it? Is it not the? It's the place where you buy a sandwich.
It's a place where you buy a sandwich. There's Chris's guess. What do you got there,
I'm going to
Jared?
say because making a sandwich, a good sandwich, requires a delicate touch
Delicate
Oh.
touch.
to the meat. You got a finely sliced meat. You have to touch your meat delicately.
Delicate touch to the meat.
You have to touch your
We
meat.
have arrived to the point of the
Delicately.
show where we consider editing things out.
Can you tell which episode it is?
That's fantastic. All right. Well, for the daily double, delicatessen means delicate eating.
I was close.
Delicate.
So
eating.
a heavy meal is cooked and
Okay.
prepared, but a delicate eating is
It's not all fried
cold
and
cuts
greasy.
and little sandwiches.
Essen is eating. Oh,
Bingo.
gosh, dang it!
2 years of German. Down
Down
the
the
drain.
Okay, you want to hear mine?
Yes.
Mine was Riesenstock.
Oh, yes.
Peanut butter cups.
Yeah, Jared
Or
said
whatever
peanut
I
butter
said.
cup, and Kevin said rice soup.
Yes.
And Kevin should have done a little better on this because do you remember the last episode at the bunker
In the future?
when you no this would be in the past.
Okay.
When at the bunker when you looked
at
out
the
the
bunker.
window and you guessed the German
Yes.
word was the giant stick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Riesenstock is a giant stick.
Outstanding.
There you go.
A giant stick outstanding in the
Outstanding
yard.
in
Standing
the
out
field.
in the
Yeah.
yard.
Well, very nice. So that means whatever the next show is going to be rice soup. Just a note.
or peanut butter cup, one of the two. Or delicatessen.
All right, there you go. None of us are going to know what
Oh my
delicatessen
God.
is.
Delicately touch the meat.
The meat. All right. Well, for those of you
You're still listening to this.
listening.
delicately touching the meat, if you like the show, go ahead. Why
How
wouldn't
could you?
Why
How could you like this?
Why wouldn't you not? Put a pin in that calendar for Black Beer Friday and all the other fun stuff coming up. And hit the subscribe button and leave comments down there, down below,
Down below. Look down there.
pointing down.
Come up and buy a 4 Carina beer.
That's it.
Yep.
And for Mr. Jared Chasson, Mr. Chris Ron, I'm Kevin Ostie, and we say, Roach.
Okay, now we are recording.
Oh, now we're
Now,
Pressure's on.
Now we're recording. Now you gotta straighten up.
Shoot.
The first episode of the night.
Yes, always the first one is the one to watch out
Wink,
for.
wink.
This is the,
Or
this is
is
the one
it?
that'll get you. Or maybe not.
Is it?